Hello, I'm Hailey Johnston. I'm the curator here at the Wellington County Museum and Archives, and I'm speaking to you inside our textile storage room. And I'm going to show you a few of the things that we store in here today, give you a behind-the-scenes tour so you can see what it's like working behind the scenes here at the museum. So follow me. So this is one of our largest storage rooms here at the museum, and we store anything that's made of fabric. So these could be small items like fabric accessories like ties and scarves and mitts, gloves, purses, toys, even. Larger items that are rolled up and put in boxes like blankets. Large items like quilts and coverlets, which are rolled up on these tubes and stored in racks. I'll show you more about that in a moment. Or large items like dresses, which are stored in some very large boxes. You can see how deep some of these shelves go here. We've got an awful lot stored in this room. So as you can see, we have a lot of quilts here at the museum, and coverlets and rugs and all sorts of large, heavy textiles, blankets. And the reason why we have them rolled here instead of folding them and putting them in boxes is because it's better for the preservation of the quilt to roll it. And that's because these are heavy items, and if you fold them, over time you're going to start to see damage developing along the fold lines, especially if it's heavy and you have items stacked upon one another in a box. So that's what we want to avoid here. So as you can see, this is just a beautiful red and white checkered quilt. It has 252 signatures embroidered across the quilt in various blocks, and these signatures are all of the names of the congregation of Monk Baptist Church here in Wellington County. In 1956, Monk Baptist Church, they were losing their minister, Reverend Ralph Humphreys. He was called to serve at Mount Forest Baptist Church, so his family was moving away, and they were getting a new minister. So what they did was all the members of the congregation, they paid 10 cents each to have their name added to the quilt, and they gave both the quilt and the funds they raised to the Humphreys family as a parting gift, which is just really lovely. So the Humphreys, as they moved on to their new posting, they were able to take the names and the memories of their first congregation and all of those friends with them when they left. And we know that this quilt meant a lot to them because the family kept it. They kept it in beautiful shape, as you can see, and they handed it down within the family, and it made its way to us in 2020. It's been with the family ever since, and we are just thrilled to take custody of it and to preserve it now for the future. I've opened up two of our small textile boxes, which are holding beaded purses. And these are very, very delicate items in our collection. You'll see they're beautifully beaded with these heavy glass beads on fragile fabrics like silks, satins, very, very fine and delicate materials. And so the reason why we store them this way, you might think some people hang up their purse at home, why wouldn't we do that? Well, the weight of the beads combined with the delicate nature of the fabrics would actually cause them to tear, and we don't want to do that. So we store them in these trays, which our conservator has made custom to suit each purse. So everyone has a place, and then the trays can stack one on top of another in the boxes without putting any weight on the purses themselves. So there's no additional pressures on them, and we can keep them this way, preserve them for many years to come. This belt was made during the First World War by a soldier who was recovering from his wounds while in hospital in the United Kingdom. It was given to a woman named Lulu Calvert, who was a nurse from Guelph, and she was working with the Volunteer Aid Detachment in Britain, and she was helping some of these soldiers regain their abilities after being wounded in the trenches of Europe. So this soldier, unfortunately we don't know his name, was trying to recover the use of his hands, his fine motor control that he lost as a result of his injuries, and so he was learning needlepoint as a way to sort of build up his strength and abilities once again. So he's embroidered this belt with the flags of some of the Allied countries from the First World War. Here we see the flags of Romania, France, followed by the US, Belgium, the United Kingdom, and Italy. And it's just a really unique piece that we're able to have that talks to the experience of this nurse who was meeting these soldiers and helping them through this terrible time and forming attachments with them, and this soldier who had just been through just a horrible experience and was working so hard to regain his abilities so that he could make it back home and get back to his normal civilian life and be able to work again. So it's a really, really interesting piece that we're thrilled to have in our collection.